Hello everyone, let me know if you can hear and see me okay. Today I wanted to have some conversations with you about consciousness, how broad of a spectrum that is. Nonetheless, it was just something that came up in the last hour. So this is going to be spontaneous conversations, and I look forward to getting into it with you. So I've only just connected my Ethernet cable. I didn't realize that wasn't in there. And I'm not 100% sure if let me see here, one moment. All right. So we are live. Okay. Before we get started, I am open to doing some readings today. I actually feel very called to the theme of spirit animals at the moment. I think I've been helped many times before with spirit animal medicine, just in a moment of looking for guidance. And when an animal has come about and I've looked up the meanings, something's been really useful. And today I hope that the conversations I share with you about my experience with consciousness and my own unique understanding of that and experiences with that, it can give you the ability to go inward as well, and use your intuition to decide what it is that you are inside, what it is that works best for your life. And you know, the archetypes help us a lot with that. They provide a framework for us to follow, and that's why I love tarot. That's why I find it really interesting ever since I got into it about 10 years ago. But beyond the archetypes, and this is the goal, is to go beyond the archetype, to come to a space where we actually are more conscious of what our unique blueprint is. Hey Pegasus, nice to see you. How are you doing today? Thank you for your modding skills on the last, not the last stream, but the stream before. I appreciate that very much. Actually, we've had a lot of good company recently for the most part, so yeah. Hope you're well. So, with the archetypes that I lay down with, or anyone lays down, because they're full to the brim when it comes to entertainment, media, you know, our favorite stories all follow a type of archetype, which I believe, I don't remember who it was that said this. I'm seeing Robert Moss, but I think it may have been someone else. Talks about an archetype in as far as it being a pathway, a key, a doorway toward finding your path, your way of doing things. So, what I wanted to kind of get to today, which we'll see if we can get there at all, this is a spontaneous experiment for me, is to get to the conversation where we can talk about consciousness and what it uniquely is for you, for me, beyond any of the archetypes, although the archetypes are included. It's kind of like when you get to a certain stage, you know, we're always up and down with beginner, middle, expert, in between those levels every day. And I'd say that when you get to the expert level, you can go beyond some of these archetypes and what they have to show you and tell you, and the point is to go beyond these archetypes, because they're just the foundations, they're just the levels that we can hopefully attain to, and then go beyond and make our own unique expressions and our own archetypes in the world. Like, so for example, I feel at the moment, and I resonate with lots of different archetypes, but I feel the resonance with the archetype of leader, for example. And within that leadership role, I look to other leaders of different categories, and I see that they can inform my behavior, they can help me to become more of this role, this sense of having a role in the world, right? And as I say, it fluctuates, it changes into different archetypes, and that's actually the point, because with the leader archetype, I wouldn't look like that at all on the surface of things, but, and this is where you got to go beyond the surface level of the archetype that we're shown in stories, in films, in books. You have many different archetypes wrapped up inside of that one single title. And the ratio, the degree to which you express yourself within that one tree branch, there's many branches off of it, and many complexities to it that make up those ratios of different archetypes in you, make up who you are. And so that's why we go beyond, we use the archetype, but we go beyond the archetype. So let me know if any of that's making sense. I would actually like to ask you all to inform me of what consciousness is to you. To me, as I say, I have, an external viewpoint of it. I can go out and I can type in Google and I can search and I can find all kinds of things, and it's very helpful, just like the spirit animal medicine is that I mentioned earlier. And if anyone wants a reading that is a member, you can choose a card. Specifically though, if you are wanting a personal reading, I'm thinking about doing spirit animal medicine readings today, but you can choose any card. I'm always open to the flow. But that will be on Team Air for that. So with consciousness, for me, so when I talk to you about this stuff, I'm going by what I know, what I've experienced. So take it or leave it kind of thing. But, my experiences, my preferences, hopefully will lead you into a deeper understanding of, say, there's some things that you resonate with, and you'll be able to take on and use your intuition, use your discernment to decipher what that means in you through your filter, through your projections of your little bubble that you're living in, that we're all living in. We're all living in little bubbles on one big planet, right? So there's bubbles within bubbles. It's a lot of information wants to stream through about this, but yeah. Unfortunately, you only have the best grasp of your true self when you are forced out of whatever archetype you're operating with. Interesting. The Hanged Man's been coming up since yesterday. I was reading about how the I don't know how I missed this, but when we was doing runes last, not the art stream, but last Thursday, I was doing a couple rune readings. Felt like I needed to learn more about runes. And one of the things that I forgot about it, and I've read it several times in the book, and I had to go back and research it yesterday, that it's actually, the Hanged Man represents Odin receiving the letters of the Nordic alphabet, so the runes, on a tree. And it's no ordinary tree, it's also representative of an ankh. I don't know if I have it in this deck. I would show you what I'm talking about, give you that picture message as well. This is the Astrology Answers deck, and I don't remember if they we'll see. My other tarot deck unfortunately got wet. I can still use it, but I'm feeling a call to use other mediums at the moment, like use just streaming pure consciousness itself, using other cards, using materials that I find online. There's all different ways we can do it. So I'm going to see if Hanged Man is in here somewhere. Yeah. So it's not quite... Okay, so it's the bottom half of the Ankh. Like I say, this has been coming up for me just since yesterday. And this card actually represents coming to terms with what you've become, who you are, all of your difficulties, all of your struggles, and finding peace and acceptance with it. But yeah, to go beyond the archetype, I mean, I'd be interested to hear more, Blackjack. More about what you have to say about that. This is a community space where I want you all to feel like free to share your thoughts. I know what it's like when you're on a stream live. You kind of, I mean, for me, I'm trepidatious sometimes to share my thoughts, but you can guarantee that someone's going to resonate with it on some level. Even if they don't, doesn't matter. It's for you to share this kind of information, to share what works for you. So just think about it like that, you know, you're just going to mirror back, you know, some of the best psychologists, they mirror back what you need, the right questions. They have the best questions, and they mirror back to you what you, if you were in a, maybe more of a balanced place, because usually when you go to, you have a problem, right? You need some problem solving when you go to someone else for help. They will mirror back something that your higher self would ask you so that you can get to the space you need to get to. But my thinking is, what if we can already get there? We just have to get over some hurdles first. And that's a huge topic in itself. I'm going to try and keep this somewhat centered in just a simple conversation surrounding consciousness and what that really means. If we can even grasp it, I don't know if we can even really grasp it. We're going to try, for sure. Because I think within, what I'm trying to get to here is the sovereignty space of consciousness, where you get to be the one who calls the shots in terms of what you will and won't accept, coming from your own mind, coming from other people, what you will provide as a resource for other people, and what you expect, not necessarily because expectations are tricky, but what you are looking for in terms of the resources that others can provide you. Getting very clear about those things. So we all have these unique dispositions that we're coming from. And that's why it's amazing to me that we can even communicate in the ways that we do. Because we all have such different life experiences, and you have to ask yourself, how are we so able to still understand each other and connect? And I have a feeling it's spirit that allows us to do that, but it could be a multitude other of reasons. I'd be open to hearing your thoughts on that. Hello videos veganos, welcome in everybody. This is going to be a stream of consciousness today, and we are also doing cards. I'm feeling drawn to my spirit animal deck today, getting some animal medicine going on out there. There's also Starseed deck. There is also many other decks. Whatever calls to you. If you're looking for some advice, I would be happy to answer your questions surrounding whatever conversations we want to start pertaining to consciousness. So, as creators, let's talk about consciousness creators, co-creators, what we can do. So much. We can do a lot. What is it that stops us from creating? What is it that stops us from doing so much? I'd say it's comfort. If you're not, and this is my experience, if you're not 100% comfortable with where you are in life, whatever situation you find yourself in, whatever category or just time and space you just happen to be in that moment, it's harder to create, but it's not impossible. And not only that, not only are we talking about something that, you know, you always want to be in the creator zone, sometimes you want to be in the difficulty zone, because there is also where lessons can be learned. But yeah, as co-creators, we can do so much. You're moving out today. Well, best of luck with that. I know how stressful that can be. Hello, Symbio. How are you doing? I made us some pasta salad today. It's not quite finished, but just so you know. Could you just draw one for me? Sure. Eldane. What's the vibe you're coming to with any kind of, like, is there a vibe you can give me that you're feeling into right now? I have my spirit animal deck, Starseed, Work Your Light, Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine. I'm going to call it Divine Masculine, but it's actually Gods and Titans. We also have tarot, we have runes, we have consciousness cards, which are not really called that at all. I'm calling them the I Am cards. We have the Know Yourself cards. Any of those stand out to you, please let me know. We can go for it. And the problem with looking at the idea of self is that lots of people who follow a Western version of Zen or Buddhism is that they assume the self doesn't exist. Okay, what was that? Abel's messing about. I'm just going to check. Just heard a big thud. 1 sec. I think it was Abel. Over there, microphone. Thank you. Oh, it's you. You dropped something.
I just made a bang by accident. What?
Big bang.
Pasta salad? I was just
Okay.
gonna go get us something to eat.
Alright, okay.
Well, I was gonna get us like a bagel or something.
I just made some pasta and eggs. So if you wanna carry on with that, if you don't, that's fine.
It's up to you, sweetie. I gotta go and get gas. So if you wanted to pick up some yum yum or maybe iced coffee or something, I can do that.
Bagel? I don't know if I fancy
Bagel
a
could be.
bagel. Get me a muffin, please. I'll probably make myself the pasta in a bit.
No, I'll make that. But for now, I'll get you a muffin and iced coffee. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you. Guess who's back? So, yeah, interesting conversation there, but I can, alright, when it comes to the self, there being a no self or a self, it's a very complex conversation. To me, I don't know how it happens, but I end up falling in the middle every time. And then I swing to one side, to the left, to the right. Because I think it's both true and not true. And that is as simplified as I can make that. Right. Okay. Right, okay. Yeah, that's a realization to come to in itself. Deciding you want to have your own space, you know. I can understand why that causes a little bit of turmoil, a little bit of, am I doing the right thing? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Sure. I do want to pull up on this idea of space because it's been coming up a lot in some of my channels as well. And this is why when we talk about these things, when we talk about consciousness, I really want this to be an open space where we take what resonates and we leave the rest, because there's going to be a time to listen to maybe what's coming externally. And then also at the same time, you're listening internally. And it's good to get really, for me anyway, it's good to get really clear I'm about what I know I need in this moment. And if it changes, you know, a day or two or a week later, it's always going to be able to be changed again. I know that some things you kind of have to end them. Like if you're going to go live somewhere else, it's kind of like one of those situations where, well, I can't necessarily change my mind and go live back there again. But if you're meant to go, if you're listening truly to your intuition, you're meant to go through this experience. This, you won't necessarily know why. It's a bit of a mystery. But if you're meant to go through that experience, and if you're meant to come back again, there will be an open ticket for that. I think we're the only ones that create those ultimatums where nothing can go back to the way it was. And I'm hearing the generational energy that we're dealing with right now saying that. But at the same time, I do think that there is some there is some order to all of this chaos, is all I'll say about that. Okay, so when it comes to the self, hi Amber, hi 33, hi Marco, hi Chris, hi Ashley, welcome in. When it comes to the self, there's half of me that thinks that I need to allow for what is coming through, what my body wants to do, what my emotions wants to do, what my mind wants to do, and allow life to do that through me. The other side is also that I need to make decisions, and I need to think about things, and I need to take time to make the right planning, organization, etc., etc. But I think that could just be a case of playing with free will there. You know, I think it was Watts who said something, and he was getting it from Krishnamurti or someone, but the only free will we have is the hesitation that we... it's funny saying these things, but the only free will we have is the hesitation we make before making... the hesitation we have before making a decision. And it's a bit of both to me. I can agree with that statement, and I can also agree that there is such a thing as free will, because I've felt it, and it's beyond words what it really means to have free will and to be and to have a self. This is some huge topics, so I'm gonna reel it in here. In terms of a card, I'm feeling like Work Your Light would be good for you, Elle. So let's do that. Get a bit of guidance. I'm going to call in the highest light with this reading. I'm actually going to do a little ritual just so we can feel like we're calling in that light, you know what I'm saying? All right. So these were given to me by a very dear friend, this sage and these matches. I've been using them sparingly, so I'm going to use them now for us all. because I think that would be nice. There, these little jasmine matches. I don't usually use things that have, I don't know if these use like a natural scent or not, but I still like them. I still appreciate them. Wow, this one's really stuck. Running 5K a day. Ascension. If people don't recognize what you need and don't give you the space, then they ain't for you. Period. Yeah. It is from a bunch of places, Kay, but I grew up in Lancashire. So, but I live in North America, Canada. I'm going to use a new one. This one's a little bit... I think this is too old for me now to light this thing. I'm going to get a lighter. I've used it probably too many times trying to get it to light. I'm not the best when it comes to lighting matches, I have to admit. Yeah. Try to be very delicate with this one. Yeah, I think for me it's about no expectations, no obligations when it comes to sharing space with people, whether that be a relationship, whether that be a work endeavor, just whatever it is just like, for me anyway, that's how I operate best. Is zero expectations, zero obligations, because there I can really do what calls to me, what's really right for me. I don't feel the pull of the other person's energy. I don't feel the need to necessarily always be something or do something for them. It's just nice when you can get to that space, and I must say, it takes a while to get to that space where you can honor your own needs and also have that kind of respect and trust from the other person that they aren't going to take it personally. That's the biggest one. Wow. So what brought you along into the comments today, Ascension? I don't know if I think I've seen your comments before, but I'm not 100%. Great urge to independence, right? Yeah. It's a big growth spurt we're all going through right now. And the feeling of sovereignty, the feeling of being able to do things by yourself, but also with being able to ask for help from others. That balance is so fine, is so complex yet simple. So let's see what this deck can bring through pertaining to this conversation we are having when it comes to I wouldn't even call it boundaries. It's more about doing what's best for self. And in so doing that, the best choice we can make when it comes to self is one that also benefits the rest. Or is it? Sometimes there's always going to be a choice we have to make that comes with some kind of pain for the people. That may always happen, but remember, pain actually comes with lessons. I feel like it's this top card. I'm just going to sit with that. The fine-tuning, the ratio of things that we need. Okay, so I'm looking at the bottom first. And we got Warrior Woman, which is very much speaking to that independence, that sovereignty that we're all looking to claim within our divine feminine and our divine masculine, because men have it in them too. The feminine, even though it gets pegged with this brush of being flowy and creative and receptive and all of this stuff, also has a masculine side to it, and it's not pure masculine. It's both, like it gets in there, it gets complex, but what I'm saying is there's branches off of the branches of just masculine and feminine. Within the feminine, there's a masculine and feminine. Within the feminine, there's also a masculine and a masculine. At least that's what I've come to understand about it. It says, have you answered your deepest calling? Yeah, I don't know how well the colours are picking up on here, but it's a really beautiful card. It's got some blues, some pinks, some silvers. It's got the galaxy in the back. It's very interesting how she made this deck. Very talented graphics design in this one. You know, it's a lot of layers to it. As you can see, you got like, you know, your architecture at the top, and then there's some up here, and then there's flowers, and then it's layers within layers. So that was probably confirmation of something that, you know, you needed to hear in terms of, well, sometimes I need to be able to listen to my own guidance and trust it. Otherwise, you won't get very far. You'll get somewhat far, but you might be living through someone else's idea of what's good for you or what's good for your life, and that's a very easy vortex to fall into. So let's take a look, because I have a feeling the top card. Do I have a feeling the top card is there? Is that, what is that one? Don't know. Let's have a look. Inner Temple. All right, interesting. So this goes with this idea of trusting your intuition, going in there, tuning into the portal of your heart. When I was doing Akashic readings for people, one of the main places I would get people to go once we've gone through the energy centers is into the heart. That's where you would step into first. Because, not first, we start with the grounding actually first. When we come to the heart, we're stepping into a wider, more expansive space. Like I can just switch and I can go there now. And you can tap into this inner temple without necessarily having to close your eyes. That helps sometimes, depending on your mood or your emotions. You can also do it when you're doing physical things, when you're talking. It takes practice. It's like coming into a vortex, a portal that is, I'd say, able to breathe easier. Rest easier. The element of the heart is air. Devotion is also another word. How devoted are you? Okay. How devoted are you to that trinity of yourself, of life, and of spirit. And life includes all the flora and fauna and people and all of it. Life. How devoted. And you find your devotion. I found my devotion when I go inward. All right, so here's something I want to say about this. I've tuned in to myself on numerous occasions because I've had to, because I've had to go beyond some kind of pain or suffering. One of the things that I learned from doing that, like going beyond the pain and seeing what it is I really enjoy, one of my visions for the future is when I think about what I really want. What if you could have anything right now? You could do anything, you could be anything, you could experience anything. Have a think about what that would be with me. When I ask myself this question, it changes, but I'm going to give you what I originally thought of. I see myself in a garden, being around people, but I'm not necessarily with the people. The people that are in the garden, in this sanctuary, in this wildlife haven, they're in a space that we've built, that I've built for them. And it's a sacred space, and it's a place you come to experience something unique to your soul. But I'm not necessarily in it. I've built it, I'm there, I'm sharing the vibes, I'm observing, I'm watching. But I actually saw myself with a baby in my arms. And I'm just taking care of this baby, and I'm just on the sidelines. And I'm not really in the center at all. And that was a big revelation for me, just that one vision, that one moment of asking myself, what do I really, if I could have anything in this moment, what would it look like? Because it made me realize that I don't actually want to be in the center of everything all the time. I actually want to build something and then and reap the enjoyments of it from a specific place. Another example I'll give you is when I was in New Zealand. And I was traveling New Zealand by myself, and I was having these bouts of anxiety because I wasn't necessarily connect. It's hard to connect with people when you're constantly moving from place to place. But I had this one day where I walked to the beach by myself, and then I walked past this big open area of adults and kids playing on the park, and I'm not joking, it was just a couple seconds of just pure bliss came over me, because it was like I was enjoying the fact that I can be on the sidelines and don't always have to be in the conversation, don't always have to be in the socialization, don't always have to be in the center of the energy and feeling it all. I can be on the outskirts sometimes and still have moments of deep connection with other people without having to have a conversation, without having to engage their energy more than what I just suggested. Pretty cool. I think so. Thank you, Duncan. So, to wrap those two cards together, let's take another look. Let's take another look. Next time, I'm going to set up the camera. We need to buy proper battery for it. We thought we bought the right battery. We didn't, as far as I'm aware. So that it can hopefully pick up on these colours a bit better. Because the range, I can shine my light, but it's so hot. I really don't want to. The whole deck is quite pinky, purpley, bluey, to be honest. Some of them aren't. but just taking the images, and I'm going to say feel into them for yourself. I've said enough. The rest is for you to tap into your intuition, ask yourself, whatever questions want to arise. Maybe, what is it I want to be devoted to? What is it I want to be more sovereign toward? Alright, the one thing I do want to say is that the speed of thought is intense. So if you're like me, you have so many thoughts that go along with something like that, don't worry about it. Try and write some things down. That might help. It helps to focus the mind on doing one thing, because I don't know how fast the speed of thought is, but it's pretty fast, and it can get a bit overwhelming. That's why it's good to do it in increments. Slow it down. So, devotion. I'm going to write it down. Devotion conjures up all kinds of images. That one word, good and bad. But you're a perfectionist, which I need to let go of. Same here. Vedic astrology. I'd be interested to hear more. I had an astrology book back when I was 17 and I never finished it. I don't know why. Astrology is interesting to me, but I'm also at the same time, there's going to be a period of time where I probably delve into it deeper. And I love learning from other people, so if you want to share any of your learnings when it comes to astrology, what's the difference between Vedic and Western then? That's a question. You can answer it or not, it's up to you. I am curious. I think just because there's such big, like the celestials, there's such big energies in themselves that, they've got to have an effect. I mean, they do have an effect on things. But like I say, there's also a certain bandwidth of information that you kind of want to keep. You want to explore at certain times and then have a boundary to certain other pieces of information, so it doesn't get too much. You can definitely have too much information. I've definitely felt the intensity of that. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed your cards. Hope you got something from it. Like I say, just tuning in to maybe even watching the replay, because you remember, if you kind of need that refresher, you don't want to kind of go there just now. It's not the right timing or whatever. Whenever you get that notion to want to like sit and do some self-work, or just kind of go a bit deeper with yourself externally, as because sometimes we don't necessarily want to sit down and meditate and close our eyes and do all of that, although that's helpful. Just come back to this space in the replay and just look at those images again, because it'll have changed, it'll morph every day, it'll have a new message for you. Potentially, or it might have the same, I don't know. All depends, really. That's how consciousness is complex, right? Quite complex. I just pulled take a break. A life's work, not a season. A life's work, not a season. I think that's one thing we get caught up in with ascension. We're like, when's it happening? Is it happening? Like, for me, I get more of a vision. I see like just ascension being this thing where you just all of a sudden turn on and everything's just switched on. Organically, might I say. But that might also be a bit of a fable, in itself, because we're meant to live, and this depends actually. I say fable loosely just because some people only live until they're a certain age, and so they are meant to reach a certain amount of evolution, enlightenment, organic ascension, that they can, if they died tomorrow, they can be grateful for the life they lived. But if you're one of the lucky ones and you live till 80 or more, you kind of want to fill your space with, I mean, it's kind of enlightenment, chop wood, carry water, before and after, right? But there is such a thing as going so high that when you have to come back down, you drop significantly. That I think is good to be aware of when it comes to spirituality, like not trying to push things to get to working with yourself. I think is always gonna hopefully take you to a more healing space, but you can always overdo that. Try not to overdo it. Try to be gentle on yourself. Try to take it slow. Can't be on the treadmill all your life. Welcome, Praxit. Me too. I like being able to tap into that, even if I don't know what they're laughing about. So, I know I'm intense, pretty heavy. That's my style. Hey Kelly, welcome. Is this your first live? Hope you're doing well. No, I've just read a lot of stuff, I think. Yeah, I went to school for English language, so. But if I could do it again, or if I was to study again, I'd probably, maybe I'd do philosophy, I don't know. It's always been an interest. Okay. Yeah, so getting back to the conversation of consciousness as much as we can here, so that we're covering all bases. I feel like there will be some sort of knowing or feeling that I don't have now. Okay. It's really hard to pinpoint that kind of thing. You can, I suppose. You don't know, like I was thinking about it today, like, because I saw my graduation picture today from 2015. I was like, wow, I did not know that in 6 years from that day, I was going to be here doing this. Did not know. How could you know? I do believe in magic and miracles, and I believe that they make up the majority of our experience, and the rest of it is just work on our part. And if we didn't have work, we wouldn't feel like we're able to move or progress. So, but I do believe in the miracles that consciousness is able to send our way. Whatever that looks and feels like for each of us individually, it looks like something different for everyone. Devotion. Being devoted to something, I think automatically brings about the sacred. If you're devoted to something, unless it's something unhealthy, like there's always two sides to the coin, you know? Any members in here, any patrons in here, let me know if you'd like a reading. I am going to do more in-depth readings for people who join on the Team Air, and we'll go a bit deeper, but for that, you know, either the deeper we go with the reading, sometimes the more uncomfortable, but the more progress can be made. So, something to think about. Super Saiyan. Yeah. It makes me laugh because my brother once called me Super Saiyan when I lost my laptop. So when I got back from New Zealand, I paid for my laptop and some other things to be sent across seas because I didn't want to carry it because I already had my little Mac. I didn't want to carry it because I was backpacking across New Zealand. And I paid like a bunch of money to have it insured and sent to my home in England. When I opened the box, dun, 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 Scott just hears this like screaming, shouting, comes in, and this is telling me like your veins are popping out your head, and I was like, yeah, and I was very upset. But that kind of stuff happens. I wouldn't do that ever again. I've learnt my lesson. Will not send valuables across the sea. Nope. Keep them with you. Keep them with you. Good. Hi, Amia. Amia, if I'm saying your name right. I'm not, no. You're right. Just for you. It's cool that we're all at different stages, and yet whatever is in your vicinity, your environment, is there to inform you of how to get to the next stage in some kind of way. I think I might be speaking in riddles, but some of you will get it, some of you won't. That's okay too. What are you guys up to anyways? What have you been doing today? It's a Tuesday. Not much to do on Tuesdays, is there? Although it is the day that you choose to do things. So, what do you choose to do today? Here's something I want to talk about. And if you, like I say, if you have any questions, and you'd like a reading to answer them, because I'm going to be biased. I'm going to have my own expectations, experiences. I try to be a pure channel. And the cards from me help me to set a ritual, set a sacred space where I can hopefully move out some of my perceptions or my ego, or I can't move it out completely though. That's why it's got to be a resonance thing. But that's what I use. I try my best to be of a pure... That sounds kind of conceited now. But I try my best to be a pure channel. And that's just my intention, really. I can only really intend and try and follow that up with some actions, but the rest is up to you. But yeah, there was something I wanted to talk about. It's to do with resources. It's to do with give and receive, I want to say. Got goosebumps. Are those the good kinds? I like it when it's the good kinds. You remember it. I was not happy. Nope. I don't think anyone would be in that situation, but I actually remember it raining, pouring down rain, and I was just, you know, that's the kind of thing that I hope I never see that kind of stuff back, because that was embarrassing. Just screaming to the top of my lungs outside. Yeah. Gotta find a way to express it healthily. Screaming into a pillow, maybe. I don't know. Although it's teaching you to get to a space where one day, should that happen to you, you just be like, oh, whatever. Just I'll try my best to get what I'm fairly owed in this case, but I wasn't able to do that. I didn't pay for the right insurance. So, what do you feel when you channel light language? I feel light. Feel a little bit of melancholy, but it's mixed with this grandiose kind of vision of what things could be. Lionsgate's coming up. I can feel that energy coming through us. It's a big one to prepare for. I was actually hoping to do a collaboration, and I said this to. So there's a lady on YouTube that, I'm not going to say, because I don't want to set up expectations, but I really do want to prepare for the Blackjack. Thank you for the 20. Appreciate that so much. Thank you. I really do want to get us. I say us, but I'm doing it now. Get us in the vibe of the Lionsgate in terms of receiving all that we can for that portal. And I'd even like to learn more about it myself, because I only learned about it about 3 years ago now, when I was doing a plant medicine ceremony. It was the first time I learned about the Lionsgate, and it happened to be on a very special day. So, thank you, Blackjack. Would you care for a card? Or are we streaming consciousness? What would you prefer? Why were you screaming? Because I lost my laptop. This sounds pretty, well, that's what happens. Probably wouldn't, I still have that, like when tech breaks down, it still feels very, oh man, that sucks, but hopefully we're not going to do that kind of scenario again, because it's embarrassing. And it's not really, it doesn't help anything, makes it worse. Definitely makes it worse. One thing I wanted to talk about though is when we're being, and this links in with the previous reading of being that sovereign self. I think a big part of that is understanding that there's a give and take between you and everything. I've heard it come up a couple times that even with readings, there's a certain type of thing you've got to give in order to receive. It's like if you take from nature, if you take from other people, you don't find a way to necessarily give that back, it can't continue. There has to be some kind of mutual resource that's traded between parties, whatever party that may be. And to me, it can be with anything, because everything is energy. Everything is consciousness. All right, 3 cards at random. We're going to link this with the conversation surrounding consciousness, because with the tarot, you're coming to the scenario with tarot with some kind of problem that needs to be solved. But there's space between it. It's not something that you take on there's always a balance. It's not something you take on with too much responsibility. Though it depends on you and your character. What I would have to say about the things that I need is going to be very different to someone else next to me, depending on, I mean, maybe in this room, a lot of us are more tuned in to spirituality, or more tuned into being an empath, or more tuned into having lots of thoughts surrounding existence. But everyone's at a different level, a different path. So we take one from the top, we take one from the bottom, and we take one from the middle. Let's do past, present, future for old time's sake. For me anyway, I used to do past, present, future readings. I haven't done one of those in yonks. So, getting centered, going into the heart portal, feeling the difference, the breath. Okay. Tarot is a bunch of archetypes and elements from nature and from the social world that have been put together in a story that can give us guidance. It can show us where we're at. So for example, the cards I'm about to show you, they may or may not, if I was to pull the present card for example, it may or may not represent where the person is on some level, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, what they're experiencing right now. And they need to listen, and the key is listen, to what their body, what their intuition, what their instinct is telling them they need to listen to. Because you know when you tune out of things sometimes, it's because you're kind of meant to in a way, although unless you want to focus on something, you do get really good at it, right? If you really focus in on something every day, you do it every day, you get really good at it. But there is a certain journey that you take with your mind where, I don't know if it's always useful to daydream like that, but as long as you pick up on when you're supposed to be listening, I'd say that's the best key you can have. Doesn't matter what you missed before, as long as you're tuning in to what you need to hear in any given moment, it'll be right. It will be the right information for you. So let's do present, shall we? The Tower. Interesting. Just before we come to... Alright. Breaking down those barriers, breaking down those walls, starting again, finding a new way to express. Something's crumbling, but it needs to. Needs to crumble. Interesting that we have the Tower of Babel with this, because sometimes what needs to crumble is a way of communicating that doesn't work anymore. Sometimes what needs to crumble is a way of doing or being that isn't fully serving you. There's always some kind of service to it that helps you. And you have to be the one who discerns how much it's helping you, how much it's hindering you, because no one can really know. Only you can set the boundaries or the resources in terms of what you need to receive and what you will not accept. So, if I was to peg this to a real life situation, I would say try and keep it simple here in the present moment. What's crumbling? And it can be something good, by the way. It can be something not so good. Tower. It's kind of a preparation. Yeah, preparation. Seeing this card. It's like, okay, whatever I'm dealing with right now, it's potentially predicated on the past and the future that's to come. So let's take a look at what they are. Past. How do you relate to the Tower? 3 of Coins, 3 of Pentacles. You're working on a craft. You're working to become something that is going to benefit you and the community. You know you need to ask for advice, but you also want to run that advice through your intuition and what it's saying to you about what you should really be doing. Whenever it comes to listening to other people, I'd say you listen intently with a notion of knowing that whatever information is being provided for you is going to benefit you on some level. But you also leave at least 50% room for you to have a conversation within yourself about what that information means to you and how, if it's the way it's being presented, is it something that you yourself would have been able to resonate with if you were saying it. It's kind of like just resetting a moment. It's kind of like this. In the past, what we've done is we've always gone to receive some kind of "you're good, go ahead" from someone else. Now that's crumbling. Now we can't afford to do that. We got to become that sovereign self, that sovereign being. And the way to do that is to not necessarily always be informed by the external, is to be informed by that inner temple first, as often as you possibly can. It's like, if you didn't channel it yourself, if that information wasn't given to you first from yourself, and I know that yourself is tied up in the consciousness. We're all part of this beautiful collective soup of energy. However, there is a you in there that is you're closest to you. And so what can you channel that no one else can, that is going to benefit the whole? Because if you're teaching or speaking about something that you maybe don't know too much about because you've kind of not channeled it or sat with it for a long time yourself, there's less things to teach about. There's less gold in that, so to speak. Hi, Michelle. You love the 3 of Pentacles. I'd love to hear what you have to say about the 3 of Pentacles, Michelle. I know you read tarot. We've got that Trinity going on there with the number 3. Yeah, if anything comes up for you, feel free to share. Otherwise, hope you're well. So we have past, 3 of Pentacles, present, Tower, future, or parallel. Ace of Cups. Overflowing of emotions. Overflowing of creativity. What do we do with all of these feels? The ace, though, represents a type of getting to a pure space within the suit itself, representative of that love space, representative of that space where we feel everything. Being an empath comes to mind. Translating those energies into the Holy Grail. Why did they seek the Holy Grail? King Arthur and his knights, why did they seek it? What Holy Grail are you seeking? That can inform your every step and can keep you on the right path. I am curious to read the nature medicine that goes along with this. What do you mean by channel? I have very little knowledge about the subject you're talking about. You ever had those moments where you have a really great thought, you say something really you can just tell it's just going to a space that is quite wise, for example, or is helpful to the other person. You don't know, you can't, and here's the thing, can you take full credit for that? I don't think you'd want to. I think you'd want to know that some of that is being channeled through you from that pure consciousness space that we can all get to when we are clear channels, when we're treating our bodies with respect, eating the right foods, when we're giving ourselves enough love and self-appreciation. When we start to find the joy in simple things, in everyday life, that's where the magic in the mundane arises, and that magic can look like a person being able to channel information for someone that helps them. It can look like building something with your bare hands that is incredible. That's a work of art, truly. It can look like many things when it comes to channeling. There's also many different words for it, and some people would say it's skill, it's focus, it's dedication, devotion, time, energy. Lots of ways to look at it. Threes are all about flourishing, abundance, harmony, and to me it always represents that trinity, mind, heart, gut, trinity. It's interesting, last stream, the stream where I did the Thoth reading, where he came through, there was a character in the final Loki season that really reminded me of Thoth. Like they really honed in on that archetype with him. He was in the series, he was the character who they find at the end of time, before the void. I'm not saying it was Thoth, but to me it represents, maybe because I'd done the reading that same night, but I was just like, wow, this really seems like it would be attributed to that character. Okay, so 3 of Earth is a raspberry. In the herbology, not herbology, herb crafters. So nourish your body with some raspberries. If you have some, savor the simple pleasures and fill your basket with companionship and collaboration. Companionship and collaboration. It feels good, right? When you're in companionship, when you're in collaboration with people. There's also a good feeling to your own company, exploring consciousness itself. There's many different ways. I think you'll be informed as to what's best for you in any given moment, if it's to reach out, if it's to reach in. If there are any members that would like a reading, let me know. Any patrons that would like a reading, let me know. I am doing more in-depth reading for a slightly higher pledge, Team Air. You also, I wanted to say that the higher the tier you climb, the more you'll get. So for Team Air, I will provide an Akashic video where you can learn how to visit the Akashic Records the way that I do it. To put it simply, there's 3 ways that there's 4. There's 4 ways. I'll visit my spirit animal, I'll visit the void, I'll visit the pillar of lights, or I'll visit the ancient house. That's how I like to initiate that conversation with the Akashic Records. So I talk about that in the video. And I also made a booklet to go along with that. So you'll get lots of information when you do become a member, as well as being able to join in on the readings and have your own personal reading live. So there's many perks. I'm still yet to put everything together. But it's all there, just waiting to find the right person to take on a journey, I guess you could say. So, let me know. So welcome in anyone who's coming in. Cecilia, hi to you in Sweden. There are artists and authors who often credit a download of inspiration of information and that they felt a compulsion to create. Exactly. My own personal experience of that was I just come back from Austria and I was working in a call center actually, but I was reading into some information, esoteric, spiritual, and I just remember getting my first inclination of what it feels like to have spirit kind of run through you. And to me, it looks like different things. Sometimes it looks like a moment of joy, at appreciation or adoration of a leaf or a rock or a conversation or a moment. But it does feel like it's not separate, but it's also coming from, I don't know what I call it. I give it a label so I can differentiate, so I can decompartmentalize, but I also feel as though the label isn't always required. Ooh, thank you. All right, so I'm going to take a little snack break from Snack Man here. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And his little hand wave. Oh, what's this? Iced coffee? Getting me buzzed, yeah. Why not?
Why not? Screen time.
Why not? I had mint and coffee this morning. That was actually a good combination. Should try it. Yeah. It's alright, I've got mint water and iced coffee, thank you. So a little snack break, get yourself a tea, get yourself a drink, get yourself a snack. What have we got here? We got a muffin, blueberry. It'd be funny if it was raspberry. Yeah, blueberry. I think remembering that there's no end to this conversation surrounding consciousness. So giving ourselves those moments where we channel consciousness just to feel something, just to breathe, as well as be in the mind with it all. You know? It's pretty intense. So, gotta keep it simple as well. Come back to the heart, come back to the breath. Occupation in the 8th. Welcome to Team Air, Chris. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let me know what you'd like to journey with, into. What you'd like to ask, or ask of the cards, of course. But I can answer it, just pure consciousness if you like. Whatever floats your boat, let me know. I appreciate that. Welcome. When it comes to receiving the downloads that are required in any one given moment, I think it's just about going with the flow as well. So that's what I'm. Snacks. Yep. I'm snack lady in the morning for the animals, and Symbio is snack man for me in the evening. I wasn't expecting that. I thought I was having a work day, so yeah, he's out there in the real world gardening for people. It's amazing. I think it's amazing. But it's hard work, you know? It's not like just sitting at a computer and having conversations, but that's also hard work in itself. So, but maybe not quite as much, I don't know. THC, well, I do appreciate THC, but for some reason I have the weather being shown to me, the market being shown to me, and top stories, and I didn't click on anything. That's interesting. Okay, it's gone now. So, Chris, we have lots of different decks. So if you would like a reading here and now, let me know. If not, we can always do one another time. We are having a snack break for now. Yeah, Levy, it does. Wasn't my favorite job. Definitely not. It's cooled down just enough here in the UK for tea. My mum and they were complaining to me today, it's too hot. It's never good enough for English weather, you know that? It's either too wet and cold and rainy and grey, or it's too hot. I think it's important to also make a delineation between the fact that the moments where you think, you know, there's just mundane things happening, it's just regular everyday stuff, there's still a certain amount of sacredness in that. It doesn't always have to look like, I don't know, just whatever your mind conjures up that it looks like. It can also be in the mundane. And that's what the Pentacles teaches us in the Tarot. There's magic there too. Not just in the revelatory experiences, but of course we want to have more of those. Of course we want to have sunshine and rainbows more often than we have storm clouds and rain. Although it depends on the person, really. Of course we want to have happiness and joy more often than we have sadness and pain. But can we control those things? I think we have, as I was saying in the beginning, 50% of it we can control, the other 50% we have to surrender to. But that's just from my experience. It looks big. It's not actually that big. Thank you, Chris. So are you. Stay calm and move on. Let me know if you would like the Akashic video and booklet. Have those sent over to you by email. You know, I made it this time last year around the Lionsgate, this decision to want to explore the Akashic space a bit more, and it's, you know, kind of bled through into many different areas of my life now, just in the mundane things as well, not just through meditation, but because I don't actually sit down and close my eyes and meditate every day or anything. I just do it when I feel that feeling of wanting to. And for me, I like that idea of journeying somewhere and having an experience. Like it's one of my favorite things, because you don't necessarily have to go anywhere. I mean, that's kind of the idea of astral travel, right? But it's a bit different than astral travel. You're going in. You're receiving information from your energy field. I don't necessarily teach or talk about or go into anything like remote viewing as much as I can. I don't feel a major call to do that, but if it happens naturally through that visual cortex, the heart portal, then so be it. It's pretty good. Hi Suzas, welcome to Pennsylvania. Question, yeah. How is the forest? You haven't mentioned anything about it lately. Oh, from England. Everything is good with the forest now. They dropped the, as far as I know, for now, they dropped the auction. So that whole thing was just me being a little bit too, actually I don't know, I think me jumping on the gun with that, trying to save the forest and talking to people about it, how I didn't really think it was such a good idea that they sold that piece of land, even though it's up to them. It's technically their land, it's the government's land. I just had so many good memories in that forest, and I know a lot of other people, like, because I was looking on forums and I was seeing what the people of the area were saying about it, and that kind of thing has sentimental value. And I think that having places that we can go and walk that's free for the community to go and do that is very important to mental health and well-being. It keeps the community together, it keeps it stable. If we start selling off the forests and the pieces of land, you know, I just think that that's sad, really. It's a really sad thing. But anyway, they dropped it. And, you know, I'm sure many people have been able to experience some kind of joy in there. I haven't been there since, 2018, I think. Was that last time I went back? 2019, 2018? yeah, 2019 I went back to England and I haven't been back since. So yeah, anyway, whatever prayers we got going on, maybe that really helped the forest be no longer sold. So I thank you all for that. Those of you who participated in that journey of my life, that time in my life. Feels like a long time ago. That was at least 2 years ago, I think. Was it? ASMR energy healing and hand movements from 2 years ago. I can't remember specifically which one that is, but it's good to know that that portal is, you know, always finding new ground in a way. Like you can always go back to it. I think that's what's cool about having a log, a video log of the past almost 6 years of my life. It's also a little bit scary too, I'm not gonna lie, having it all there, but it's good. I think it's important for those that want to go back and see the changes that were made over the years, for me anyway. There was a strange kind of joy in managing to get tasks done. I really grasped that this year. Cool, yeah, cleaning is that for me. I just don't want to start it, but once I've finished it, 33, it's, yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's like that satisfaction feeling. It's the time of year actually to go picking strawberries. We need to do that. Just reminded me. Thank you, Souza. I really appreciate that. Our goal is to build our own little forest, plant as many trees as we can. Symbio planted some last year. They didn't grow though. If you're a mythical being in a past life, what do you think you were? A mythical being. I was seeing fairy and then I seen mermaid, but that's just probably because that's what I want to. That's probably what I would want to be. And I'm actually gonna, so the mermaid art piece that I made on stream on Sunday, I'm gonna show you guys the finished products on Thursday. Still waiting for things to dry. I'm glossing it over and making it into something kind of cool, with all kinds of glitters and yeah. So I'll show you on Thursday. But how about you? What mythical creature would you be? Have a lot of influence in the right position. Okay. Yeah, I hope to be a good influence as much as possible, but not everyone is gonna get. Here's the thing about healing, or the healing journey, or you know, any of that kind of thing. Here's what I've come to understand, and it was actually, I listened to a really, a friend of mine, she was talking about this subject, and I really resonated with her on this. It's like, when we go to create in the world, we're hopefully coming from that central space as often as possible, because it's very easy to get drawn into the vortex of doing things for the people because it's going to be popular, or, you know, very easy to draw into that. It's because it's going to make money, because it's going to be what people want, what they're asking for. And a lot of people go there, and that's okay because there's an ask for it. But if you really want to keep the energy sacred and have that life force energy constantly be balanced again. One of the things that I notice with sharing your expressions in the world, your art, whatever it is that whatever the response is to your art, even though you triggered the response, it's still quite personal to the person themselves. If they find it good, that's showing them where they are in the moment. And this is what my friend was saying to me, and I agreed 100% with her, because it's a really good notion to recognize that a lot of what we think about other people or their creations or whatever is showing us a mirror of our own personal experience in that moment. So for example, some people, and I was kind of in this category a little bit, but they may be pushed away from doing something for a while because they're so concerned about some of the comments they get from other people. They let it stop them from succeeding in all walks of life. We've all heard that story, right? You don't listen to what other people, especially the people that don't support what you're doing. It's a fine balance between listening to what other people have to say and then still coming back to that essence inside that says, yeah, but I want to create this because this is what's coming through. Because obviously we're always going to have that observer effect. The slit experiment, you know, that they found, that's always been fascinating to me. Hey, Abel. That whoever's observing the experience, the person, the thing, the object, the molecule, changes it. And that's just fascinating to me. We're all these creators and these watchers, right? And yeah, I don't know. She really put it well, but there's a lot to delve into there. And the core of it is that if you want to create, you should do so without taking on too much of the good or bad. As long as you know you're facing in the right direction, you keep walking that way. You do what you do. And if there's some turmoil there, maybe you got to look at that. Why am I uncomfortable with this? Not necessarily always listening to the good or the bad reviews, right? I don't know. That's what I have had to get stronger on. Boundaries in a way. How other people feel about me and what I share and the work that I share and everything. It's not so personal. Even though it seems personal, it's not as personal as we'd like to make it. But there's still some connection. So, a purple dragon. Ooh, that's pretty neat. That's pretty cool. Okay, now I'm getting my imagination going. I would probably be a winged lion. Yeah. Try that one out. Try those shoes on for a while. A werewolf, pretty cool. The world is a canvas. Yeah, definitely. Your life is a canvas. It's kind of out of shot today. I don't know if I need to move it. There we go. There we go. He likes grounding. Sometimes sleeps on the little couch there, the little chair, but definitely likes being close to the ground. Goes out and hides under the bridge a lot. And jumps out. The chippies. I would want to be a dragon, but I feel like I would be some kind of satyr. As for you, I could definitely see you being a fairy or a woodland witch. Yes, you are amazing. I think there's a way to call in those kind of energies and ask for their opinion, but I think when you're really struggling with a decision or something you got to do in life, just calling in that elemental energy or that spirit or that vibe that feels really good to you, whatever you've resonated with. Could be a spirit animal, could be a tree, could be a little elemental helper, whatever it is. Just consulting with life. That's another way to connect with the spirit of things, not always having to be all kind of, how do I make this decision all by myself? That's what I used to do. Now I don't know. I like the world of fantasy, especially when it can be bridged and applied to the real world. It's not just escapism, it's informing the reality. We're both the dreamer and the dream. And if anyone ever fully grasps that, let me know, because I'm still yet to fully grasp it. It's like trying to... Again, Watts is coming up with a quote there. The whole thing of being able to bite your teeth. Not being able to do that. You can't bite your own teeth. You can't turn around your eyeball to look at yourself. Anyways, yeah, I was going to talk about resources. I think we probably already covered it though. Maybe it's for another time. Hi, hold your breath. Hi, Wombat. Oh, did you change your name? That's funny. That's amazing. I'm still yet to see a picture of a wombat, and I kind of want to see one. See how cute they are. I feel like I've seen one in a meme before, but I didn't know that they were real until you. Oh my goodness, they're very cute. Are you guys ready for this? Oh my goodness. Some of them have like little chunks. Okay, let me see if I can share this. Sharing some of that spirit animal medicine, wombat energy. Oh my goodness. Let's take a look at what medicine we can find with the wombats. So, I'm sure you all can probably find this for yourself, but we are going to take a look. Oh, it's a big one. Had a wombat together. I didn't know this was a wombat. It's very cute. Can imagine giving it some snacks. Just chomping away at the bit. It's very cute. We should play cards again. Yeah, we should. That would be awesome. How's living in BC? We're hoping to visit Lake Superior one of these days. It's a long drive. Okay, bye Wombat. You're very cute. Hope to meet you one day. When I was in New Zealand, I got to see kiwi. Is that what they're called? I think it was in a museum though. I didn't quite like it. There was one where there was not kiwi. Oh my gosh, that's the name of the... What's that bird called? Completely blanked on that one. But it's only in New Zealand. It's interesting learning about the different animals that you've never seen before, never heard about before. And let me take a look here. Wombat spirit animal. Meaning or medicine. Okay. Among the kindest individuals you'll ever meet. Always ready and willing to help others in need. Sounds like we've got a thunderstorm coming. And apparently you call in a wombat spirit animal to help to guide you towards the most beneficial answers. So if you're seeking an answer for your own personal growth, wombats are good things to call on. Good cutesies to call on. Wombat meaning is the essence of a teacher and a member of the wise council. I'd like to see this wombat wise council. That would be pretty neat. Reminds me of on Frozen, all those trolls that come together. The wise council. What's your thoughts on reality being a simulation? Just that it's possible, and even if it is, it still feels very real to me, and so I'm going to treat it with just as much respect, and either way I'm okay with well, I say I'm okay. I don't necessarily know the full truth, but what about you? What's your opinion? I'd be interested to hear. I had a dream once where I was speaking to a spiritual teacher and they showed me I am the entire dream and I merged as it. I once had a dream like that, but it was kind of horrifying. I was probably like 13 or 14 and it still stands out to me now. It was like showing me something that I was doing in my life that was like, it wasn't really, I wasn't doing that physical thing, but it was like showing me a really kind of, I guess, a shadowy aspect to myself at that period of time. Wow, that's some strong wind. Hello, wind. So this is not to dampen that magical dream you're talking about, by the way. It's just what's coming up. It kind of, it shook me a little bit. It was like, wait a minute, I need to be a bit more respectful of life. I need to be a bit more respectful of the fact that I'm doing this for more things than I know. I'm living this life for trying to be, and I don't think I was actually thinking about it like that. I just remember waking up as a teenager and being like, whoa, gotta be careful of some of the things I'm doing. So that stood out to me for whatever reason, and it's shared. But yeah, interesting what some of the revelatory dreams can do for us, can point us toward, you know? My thing right now at the moment is that I don't stress about trying to remember the dreams. If I don't already remember them, instead what I do is I feel into kind of what my energy is saying and go from there. Just because you don't necessarily remember the dream itself doesn't mean that you can't still be working with the energies, because the dream or the energy or the lesson is going to come through at some point, some time or another. Quite the chonker. So cute. Sweltering. Oh, really, David? Yeah, my mum was telling me it was. Well, I'll send you some of this wind your way. Hopefully it'll reach you. Although it's quite late there now. 9 o'clock at night. There goes the thunder. Hi, Brian. Had a dream about the mystic, Caris. Is that Caris from Taliesin? And her friends driving across the country in a Prius at night. I've only heard of Caris in the book Taliesin, so She was a princess from, I believe, in the story of Taliesin, she was a princess from Atlantis, and she came and met Merlin. Was it Merlin? No, because Taliesin is Merlin's son. And she ended up getting in a relationship with Taliesin. I don't know. Can't remember the storyline. Something like that. Or was Taliesin her son? No. If anyone knows that story, I have the book somewhere. I do have it. See if I can fish it out. If y'all are interested. But anyways, consciousness. What is consciousness? Game of Wombats. That sounds like a pleasant version of Game of Thrones. I'd watch that. Yes. Oops, I think I'm a bit behind. There we go. Welcome in the 5D Garden of Eden, Heaven on Earth. Definitely. Let me know if there's anybody in here that's a member, would like a reading, a patron would like a reading. Just in case you missed it, I am offering to join members a more in-depth reading should you want one here on stream. If not, Team Air you'll be able to receive your reading off stream. You'll also receive a video telling you about how to enter the Akash in the way that I do it, and a little instructional booklet giving you some information surrounding the void, the pillars of light, and the ancient house. It's as far as I've come with, and there's a fourth one. There's another way to visit the Akash, and that's the way that I've done it anyways. Many ways. Many ways. Spirit animal. So that conversation, though, makes me want to go towards the concept of why some of us can see more than others, and I'm talking about in the visionary space. I do think it can be developed. I do think your third eye is definitely capable of being able to see colours when you close your eyes. Even if it's just black space right now, it's definitely possible. It just takes a little bit of practice. Working with the 12 rays, for example, that's another booklet you can receive from. We have all these booklets and these videos that are just waiting to go out to people that join the memberships. But yeah, it probably needs a little bit more structure, and it needs a little bit more clarity so that people can know what services I offer. So I'll get to that. I'll get to that very soon. It was all through my website, but for right now, I'm not sure. I think I'm just going to eventually redo my website just for email, just for new newsletters and things like that, because I do enjoy the platforms that I'm able to connect more with people. Even though there's a chat you can do on websites, it's not quite as popular as what it is with Patreon, I think, because there's more energy, there's more people in that space. So I went on a tangent, but yeah, that's Wagwan. I like to think of myself as very spiritual, and I have a very active and vivid imagination, but I don't tend to remember my dreams. You said a term about Nada dreams. Can you tell me more about this? Nada was a term that I learned from the shamans in Costa Rica when I went and did a plant ceremony, and they talked about Nada being one of the 4 things you can experience when you try plant medicine. But I've noticed that because I've had many conversations about this concept of no dreams with people before, and the idea surrounding the shamanic practices is that if you aren't having any dreams ever, you don't remember a single dream, not even a glimpse of it, there is some kind of numbing factor, something getting in the way between you and your soul remembering or even having dreams. I think you're still having dreams, and so nada is representative of you going so deep into your consciousness that cellular healing is taking place, and you're not necessarily going to be conscious for any of that. You're not going to remember any of that. And so the nada is where, in ayahuasca, for example, you don't have any experience other than just blacking out. You just go to sleep. And, they mentioned that you have deep cellular healing going on at that point. I think there's 3 other states, correct me if I'm wrong, Symbio, or anyone who's done, this is specific to Rhythmia, actually, because I've only done plant medicine the once. And this is what I learned there. But there's 3 other states, and I don't remember the name. The nada stands out to me the most. I had the nada at least one night, and it was basically, I fell asleep I was knocked out for a few hours, but I also remember having a very dark dream. And so the nada can link with like having, maybe it doesn't link with that, but the concept anyway is the same. You don't have any dreams because you have to kind of do some deep healing and maybe even recollect your soul, or maybe stop taking so many of the pills that you're taking. You just don't know what could be causing it. There's many different factors that could cause you to not have any kinds of dreams that you ever remember. Like I remember dating this one guy, and he didn't ever remember, he said he didn't remember any of his dreams ever, and I remember being so bewildered by that at the time. Like, how is that even possible? But it's possible. And I don't necessarily think it's so because it's not always going to be the case that you need some kind of major intervention or healing, because I don't know that. I'm just speaking about what I've heard, that it's, something might need to be reconnected again. But it's very possible that you might not need to dream. I think we do need to dream, but it's very possible you might not need to remember the dreams. Instead, maybe what you need to focus on, or anyone who's dealing with this kind of thing, is more of the feelings that you get when you wake up in the morning and what that's telling you. So that was a something. But yeah. Yeah. You asked me why I went vegan. Okay. I had prostate cancer and I researched the causes, and a factor is eating red meat and dairy. I feel healthier for it, and I don't pay for the unnecessary cruelty. Right, gotcha. Yep, I agree. Those animal farms are, some of them, pretty downright atrocious. I remember having to watch that kind of thing, like in religious studies at school, and it was the most painful thing I've ever watched. And so it definitely, I can understand why you'd want to do that. When it comes to red meat, as far as I understand, it can't be digested very well by your gut, and that's why it's unhealthy for you. But there's a lot of speculation, there's a lot of information out there. I think it's whatever resonates the most for you, whatever you've tried and tested. So you do see colors all the time. Downloading my lights, energies with closed eyes. Awesome, Susa. Yeah, that's great. There's 2 types of people that usually come to me for the Akash. There's the people that have more of a visceral sensation with tingles, with meditation, and they feel it all through their body and sense it all through their body, and other people will be able to see it with me. Although, there's even a 3rd kind, which I'm not going to get into. Hello, cul-de-sac man. Most peculiar dreams. The oddest are that at 40 plus I was going back to my old school and being late. Happens to me, bro, all the time. I'm always dreaming about that. It's weird. But maybe it's like representative of Earth school, like you're learning something in real life, so it takes you in the dream to a school. That's one theory. It's 9 o'clock and 25 degrees. All right. Yeah, it's quite warm. It's very humid here too. Oh, thank you, 33. Appreciate that. I used to organize. Took us a while. And the reason that I didn't present it to the public is because I really wanted to try and test it myself and make sure that I'm trying to implement this technique that I'm sharing, these 12 rays every day. And I got as far as a couple weeks doing it, but honestly, I'm such a Renaissance soul. I move on to things quite quickly and then I come back, and then I move on and then I come back. Good evening, Ram. I have a close friend of mine who was probably a priestess, and she lived next door to me, and it appeared she used to receive my dreams and I used to receive hers for a while. Wow. That's pretty trippy, man. That's cool too. I mean, I never had that experience before, so I don't know. Actually, one thing that did happen with the art show that I spoke about on Sunday that I went to, we went on Saturday actually, but when I was looking through this one artist's prints, there was one that reminded me of a dream that I had. It was this dragon in a pool, and it was kind of like, I'll have to see if I can find it on his website. Let me see. But in the dream, it was like a Game of Thrones, but indoors, and it was like dinosaurs there, and it was just the craziest wild dream ever. I think I had it years ago. And anyway, his painting reminded me of this dream, and it was like, I said I've had a dream like that looks like this. So that's as close as I've come to that. I don't know what that was called. I'm on his website now, so let me see if I can find it. Dragon, he's got lots of dragons. But this one stood out to me particularly because it was in a pool. And in the dream, the pool actually, it's kind of intense, but some kind of thing crashed into the pool and there was this big wave and everybody just kind of, that was the end of the dream. Just water going everywhere. It was scary. Definitely a little bit intense. Should eat from local farmers. Yes. Every time we drive past them, we say, oh, we should go there and we should get our stuff. I think it's out of habit, though, that we just go back to the supermarkets, but I agree, Susa, and I think it should be, something you do as often as you can. And if you can grow your own food, great. I absolutely love getting the fresh food from outside. I made some hummus yesterday with some fresh cilantro from the garden. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Nothing beats it. What happens when you get two seers in the room? A dire need for lithium. Wait, what are we talking about? Many things all at once. Reminds me, I used to try to get to my school locker open, but couldn't remember the combination. We never had lockers at school. Actually, I think we did toward the end, but it was not like you have them in the US. Even if animals live a happy, short life, they still end up in the same slaughterhouse. I don't know about that. My thing is that if you treat the animal with respect when you're rearing it, that's the most important thing we can do. Giving them a quality of life, that's the most important thing we can do. So. ADD. Oh yeah, listen. These kinds of terms can come under boatloads of labels, and so that's why, when we're using labels, it's important to also release from them and not always feel like we've got to cling to them as though it's our identity. But labels help for a time, depending on where you're at. Help you to differentiate where you're at. And sometimes they don't help. They make it more difficult because now you have a label that is attached to you and you can't necessarily get away from it. So every time I go to the supermarket shopping, I spend the time complaining about packaging. Yeah. It's easy to find things that are, I've done the same when it comes to tons of plastic bags. We bought cotton bags for a while and just would use that when we'd go. But I think if you want to live a happy life, you've got to complain less and do more. You know, because I've been there. But it doesn't make me feel any better. I mean, unless I'm taking action towards it, unless I'm bringing it, and I'm not really the kind of person to bring it to political sphere, although I don't know. I think we do have to communicate and cooperate together in order to make change happen. But it does start with us and what we choose to do, so. All right. How are we doing? How's everybody doing today? I'm feeling quite buzzed from coffee. I think I will. Get my tuning fork. Whilst we decide what to talk about next with consciousness. I think we all play different roles at different times. And so what your consciousness is doing in one moment or observing in one moment is going to change greatly from day to day, moment to moment. I like the spinny sound with this, just tuning into, this is 432 Hertz, tuning into this. Yeah, usually when it's local, they stick to their ethics more. It's when they branch out and want to make more money that potentially has the money is more of the interest than the livelihood of the animals. But I think a lot more people are wanting to build animal sanctuaries and havens so that we can take care of the animals. You know, we're really coming into that space of feeling like we just want to give back to them. They've given us so much. I do anyway. I would love to have an animal sanctuary. That would be amazing. I heard of a legend on maybe the History Channel about a machine from ancient times that created food from the air. That might be the closest to non-meat food, assuming it existed. Yeah, I don't know if we're quite there yet, but who knows? You never know what's possible in the future. Sure, PayPal. I'd rather send you a donation by PayPal so you get to keep the other half. I'll look it up. I don't know if I have it on here, but oh yes, I think I do. It's under my old ASMR name. So yeah, let me see here. Oh, I'm not signed in. I can't even type it in the chat. Give me a second. yeah, it's like, I mean, like with anything, YouTube, Patreon, they all take like a cut, and YouTube takes half at least of whatever you guys donate to me and pledge to me, you know. So PayPal is the better option, but I know that's not necessarily the better option for everyone. Not everyone has it. I'm trying to remember my email for this one. Co.uk. I haven't used that one in a while. I think it's that. No. Okay, I'm going to read it to you. It is, because I can't sign into the chat right now. So I don't know if you want to write this down. I am going to link my donations, any donations that come through PayPal. I'm going to try and get them to come up through Stream. There's got to be a way to do that. I just haven't figured it out yet. I think I've got to use Stream Elements or something like that. But that way, when you do donate through PayPal, it's going to come up on screen, not just through chat. So I'll make sure to set that up. But for now, actually, let me have a look at Stream Elements. There must be a way to do that, to set it up. Let's do YouTube. Oh, okay, here's my, okay, I think I've got my email. You ready? It wasn't .co.uk. I was thinking because it was an English email, I used .co.uk, but I did not. I used .com. Was it Gmail? Gmail. If you are a member, especially of the AR tier and above, then make sure you send me an email at misssynchronicity@gmail.com or misssynchronicity@pm.me to receive your... Why is that not right? Oh, okay, there's no dash in there. Sorry. I'm talking to myself. But what I was saying to you guys is that if you are a member and you're of Team Air and above, you can receive rewards. You just gotta make sure I have your email and I'll be able to send it to you. Alright, let's see, does that work? The browser app may not be secure. Okay. Try using a different browser. Couldn't sign you in. Well, that was all for nothing. Not sure why. Try using a different browser. How can I do that when I'm using OBS? There's a chat function in OBS that is built into OBS, the system that I use to stream with. And so it's not like it's a separate browser that I can just change, unfortunately. Or is it? Toggle. No, it's very strange. I don't know. And now I've lost my chat. That sucks. Okay. I'll save the PayPal link for next time, but it's www.paypal.com/paypalme/KaysASMR. That is my original ASMR name on YouTube that we started with. So now how do I get my chat back up? Let's take a look. Okay, I've got the chat back up. It's not on OBS, so that's unfortunate. Maybe I can pop it out. Let's pop it out. There we go. Here we are. Yes. Okay, very good. I'm back with you being able to read your comments. We're all meant to trigger others to awaken. Yes, definitely. Collective subconsciousness. Well, there's definitely a dream that's leading the planet and that carries a lot more energy. And that's kind of similar to the vortex, as I was saying, it's easy to fall into sometimes. Like, if the collective subconscious dream is to value only money over spirit, it's easy to fall into that same vortex and trap every single time. We have to find a way to find our own things that matter to us the most. And to me, the spirit bank, where we accumulate experiences that are potentially filled with love and joy are just as important as accumulating the physical needs, for example, like money. How many days of the year were you able to feel into the joyful spirit of living? You know, that is just as important to me. So when it comes to the collective dream we're all in, I think it's good to recognize that there's certain dreams that the collective's having that's not necessarily always going to be beneficial for you and your consciousness. So I don't know if that answers your question. Choose to live in a world that harmed humans or animals, or a world that harmed neither. I probably would take a pass on that question. I'd rather live in a world where people who have to kill do it correctly. I'm of the opposite opinion. I don't think that... It's a tricky one. I'm not even going to begin to go for that. But I do have, I don't know, a feeling of it's better to reform the energy than to kill it. But 50% off the memberships. In terms of donation, it might be less. I'm not 100%. It's tricky actually navigating the monetization thing, because it gives a guesstimate, doesn't necessarily always give the exact amount. At least that's what I found. I don't know if any other YouTube creators struggle with that side of things, getting a clearer view of what money's going in and what amounts of it are going to YouTube and etc. But I'm still learning. Thank you, ASMR Billion. I appreciate that. How are you doing? Thank you. The healthiest vegetables. Well, it depends on your gut microbiome, Brian. Because there's some vegetables that may send your gut into almost like a fight or flight, depending on whether it has the right kind of constitutes to break it down. Like, so for example, I can't remember the name of it, maybe Symbio will. We did a gut biome test, and I don't know how accurate these are, and this is just something that we tried, and it came back that my gut biome, I think, wasn't too keen on peppers. Like, it didn't really serve my body well. So it's kind of a unique scenario, really. But the healthiest vegetables are all the colours of the rainbow, really. I think so. But some are maybe more superfood. It doesn't take a cut from donations, only from subs. Yeah, just from subs. Yeah. It's the same with you. I don't think they take a cut from donations, but I've not been able to confirm that yet. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, the Yin Yang hoodie. I would like to be able to see what it looks like myself. I've not ordered it yet. I have ordered all of the t-shirts if you want to see them. I'll show you. We have each element. Well, these are two for now. We have fire. This is the fire t-shirt. And also have water t-shirt. This is the Miss Synchronicity merch. It's really nice on. It's cotton, 100% cotton, and the design's pretty neat. My favorite one is air. I don't know if that's in the wash or if it's here. There's another old merch piece. Some of you guys have seen this one. I don't know. I don't think this is actually in my shop anymore. But this was a mandala I created for a friend years ago, and now I made it into a t-shirt. And I don't think you can buy this one anymore, unfortunately. But I could probably scope it out. We have the earth one. Here's the air one. This is my favorite. I like wearing this one. Have the alchemical air symbol, and got some pink and blue and grey and all that fun stuff. Also have ether t-shirt. It's a purple colour, and it has the flower of life in the middle, and I wear it for bed mostly because I know it's more of a bed t-shirt. But the other elements, fire, air, water and earth, I don't wear the earth one very much because they gave me a size too big, so it's a little bit big. And if I was to order, I like the black, white and grey t-shirts. The blue, the water one that I just showed you is quite nice, but the green on the earth, I would, change the colour for me personally. But you can choose on the merchandise website which colour I think you can choose. I'm not 100%, but yeah. Just a little show for you there. I've never shown the merch before, so. Yeah, I agree, Susan. The more we switch to vegetarian and plant-based as often as we can, the better, but I wouldn't necessarily go beyond what your body's used to. Do it in increments and stay away from anything that's chemically full of, even though it's vegan, if it's full of chemicals and just no natural ingredients at all, it's definitely not going to be good for you in the long run. And the key about consciousness is to keep you alive and to keep you well, and then you can influence other people, well. And so just because you're eating animals doesn't mean that you're not able to do that, because actually it's still very much close to organic food, but it's a huge topic, and I have mixed feelings about it, really. You've got to do what's best for you and what you feel is best for your body. How do you prioritize your marriage with your own self? Okay. Oh, what have you and Eddie learned so far? And suggest for those trying to focus on both. That's a great question. Yeah. Sure, Symbio. Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for the 20. Yeah, I was going to take a look at Streamlabs, wasn't I? Why didn't that come through? Continue with YouTube. We'll see if we can get a... here we go. Right. Let's see if I can get an alert to come up for that. Oops, I'm in the wrong... General reading, alright. Coming up. So... Custom tip page. If anyone knows how to, I don't suppose anyone's really a YouTube streamer here. I'll have to look it up and see if there's a way for me to link PayPal so that we can get alerts to come up on screen. That would be really awesome. That way I can see exactly when and be alerted, so to speak. Streamlabs. Stream Elements was the other one. wonder if I do something with PayPal. It's alright. I'll look after stream. I don't want to bore you guys to death with this, but it is definitely a bit more helpful to go through PayPal. But also, I want it to be accessible for those of you who do want to read in and just don't want to have to use too many platforms. I know it's a nuisance. So, a general reading. I'm thinking we do some tarot medicine, nature medicine, some bio, but let me know. Oh, sure, Chris. We'll probably do a few cards. We'll see how the energy goes. I have space for just a few more readings before I get off. Okay, Pegasus, no problem whatsoever. Thank you for being here and for chatting and hanging out with us. Appreciated. Channel customization. Through which platform do you think? Would that be YouTube or would that be Stream Elements? Tastes like cashew. It's $20 for a read. Well, you can become a member and get a read in, but if you want something a bit more in depth, then you go beyond Team Air, and you get lots of other little perks as well, like an Akashic video, an Akashic booklet to teach you how to go into the Akash and journey into that space. Receive answers from your higher self, receive guidance from spirit guides, or just have fun, really, when you're doing your meditations. Sometimes I go there just to have fun, like just to go to a space where I can create everything around me. Oh, okay, YouTube. Maybe. It's possible. We'll see. I'll take a look after stream. Okay, so a general card, symbol. Alright, here we go. Some teapots, and we have 3 of water. Interesting. Lemon balm. Lemon balm tea, I believe, is... What did I used to drink it for? There was a reason I was drinking lemon balm tea. Let's see if we can figure out what that was. So water, we have 3 of cups. And as I mentioned earlier, 3s is all about that flourishing, abundance, harmony. 3 of water is So here's the 3 quotes that Letitia Guthrie suggests. Lift your spirits with the scent of happiness. Pleasure shared is pleasure multiplied. Celebrate your heart's delight. An afternoon tea party is set for 3 on a delicate lace tablecloth in front of a giant lemon balm bush. Sweet confections, mismatched china, and children's toys are on the table. An old glass bottle used as a vase holds a single bright blue flower. The bees buzz. The giggles of little children are heard in the distance. Happiness is contagious. A favorite of bees, the intoxicating scent of lemon balm brings life to the garden. Rejoice, make merry, celebrate your friendships, spend time with loved ones, make new friends too. You have already done the work to attract the right people. Your community awaits you with open arms. Lemon balm spreads widely without effort. Allow relationships to grow with ease. Show your admiration and appreciation for others. Express joy in all areas of your life. Lemon balm tea supports peace and calms an anxious heart. That's what I was drinking it for. Anxiety, I think. Now is the time to proclaim your true feelings. True feelings. 3 of Cups. Enjoy fresh lemon balm tea to lift your spirits. Invite friends for a tea party and share your joys over dishes of lemon balm sorbet. Dip a lemon balm posy in sacred water. Sprinkle it around to brighten dark, stagnant spaces. And there you go. 3 of Cups medicine. Lemon balm. Let's try some lemon balm tea. Symbio. Nature's medicine knows best. That's cool, Brian. I had the one dream that I mentioned last stream. Where I opened a book in the dream, wrote down some things, closed the book, opened the dream again in another scenario. And then I woke up that morning and I just opened my book, my notebook, and started writing. And that's when I made the Life is a Game of Energy and Mirrors video. It was from that. Hello NM, welcome in. What I mean, Levy, is that I'll be popping off soon. I tend to stream for about 2 to 3 hours. We're almost at that mark. Almost. I also listen to, the energy as well. Whenever I want to leave, whenever I want to stay, I will. It's called the Herb Crafters Tarot. And I love it. I think it's, this is the book. Looks like this on the box too. Herb Crafters Tarot. I got mine on Amazon, but you know, you might be able to find it in your local crystal shop, depends. Things are starting to open up a bit more here now. So I also got these earrings from the art show that I went to on Saturday, that we went to. And I keep calling it Adventurine, but I'm pretty sure it's Amazonite. Amazonite, it's like this blue, beautiful blue colour, matches my top actually. And I believe Amazonite is good for, oh okay, you know what? £10, 88 GBP came through my PayPal on my phone. So if I keep my eyes on my phone, I will have notifications, but it would be nice to have notifications come through the screen so that I can see it straight away. I don't always see it when it's on my phone, but thank you again, Symbio. What was I saying? Adventurine? No, Amazonite. I have a friend a while ago sent me an image for Amazonite and what it means. Let me see if I can find it, because I think it was for communication. I'm not super well up on crystals. I tend to just, I don't know, I tend to buy them and wear them and just enjoy them for what they are, but obviously intentions are powerful too. So let me take a look. Trying to find one single image in amongst thousands. It's definitely not the easiest thing. Definitely not. However, if I can use a search. No. Anyway, if anyone knows what Adventurine is good for. Oh, I think I might have found it. Amazonite. I keep saying Adventurine. What is that about? Maybe I need Adventurine. I think that's the greenstone. Maybe that's why I keep saying it. Anyways, Amazonite calms the soul while also empowering one to search deep within and discover one's own truths to find inner freedom. That's kind of befitting for today's stream. The theme, in keeping with the theme of today's stream. Amazonite teaches us to speak the truth and to make what we speak come true. Calms the soul while also empowering one to search deep within and discover one's own truths to find inner freedom. Amazonite corresponds to the heart and throat chakras. It evokes soothing energies that deepen your compassion for self and others. It is a great crystal for putting your mind and emotions at ease. If you are someone that is constantly worrying, this is the stone for you. Hallelujah, I think I found the stone for me, guys. Affirmation, I am as calm and peaceful as the ocean. I must say though, I don't worry as much. I don't know if I worry less or more these days. It's hard to say. Affirmation, I am as calm and peaceful as the ocean. Beautiful. Keep feeling called to go to the ocean. I think we gotta go there soon. It's more of a lake. Okay, Levy. Yeah, nice to meet you too. Hope you have a good time. Whatever you're doing, sleeping. Hope you have a great sleep. I think the key is in the name. with Adventure Island. It makes you kind of more open to new adventures, but yep. You're welcome. I've never been to Miami. I'd like to go to Hawaii, the tropics, you know, one day. It's to me like how a cat must feel, more wild. It's not in malice or ignorance, but a deep humility and honouring of my physical natures. Sure, Symbio, I think if you honour the animal that you eat and you ask it to kind of, you know, live through you and as you, there's ways to keep that sacred too, whatever you decide, you know. I've always said that I would like to be fully plant-based, but there's a lot of things that I say, you know, that I don't necessarily know how to implement right here, right now. We just try our best to eat organic and cruelty-free as much as possible. So anyway, let me know if there's any more readings to do before we finito. So I would say that if you want a general reading, that's fine. If you have a question, that I want to say you keep it New England. Is that where you are? Carian? Should definitely listen to it. Right, yeah, it's all about listening to the body. Definitely being in tune with that is important. Yeah, so with the readings, you can just kind of think of a question. The cards will hopefully, the energy will tap into it. But the question should be something that you're, you know, it can be a simple question, but better outcomes are potentially going to come from having a serious question, something you really want to know the answers to. You're more invested in it that way. And it's been coming up quite a lot, this notion, but you know, I do ask for some reciprocal energy when doing readings, because to me it is a sacred space that we can tap into, and if we just treat it like it doesn't really have any value or meaning or whatever, it kind of dampens the sacred a little bit, and it doesn't compensate for the energy. It's like twice recently I've heard about how the Oracle of Delphi would ask for a type of sacrifice before giving advice. You know, you'd have to sacrifice a part of yourself. And I think the interesting thing about that is that when you go to try and receive information from your guides, your higher self, or just life in general, consciousness in general, you have to be willing to sacrifice something, and sometimes that sacrifice can look like your joy. You have to go through a period of time. It's a little bit like a dark night of the soul, or a kind of face pain or suffering in some way, so that you can get to the other side and learn a lesson. And it doesn't always happen like that, of course. It's different for different occasions, but that's the theme that I've noticed, is that usually in order to learn a big lesson or gain some kind of wisdom, you gotta go through some difficulties first. So that's why, you know, when I suggest these readings for people, it's because I genuinely think that the best advice is going to come from actually having a problem you want to solve, not necessarily something that is just... There's many ways to use the cards for sure. And I think if you just want a reassurance, for example, that's just as good. Consciousness will do what it will, really. Life will do what it will to make sure that you get the message, that you hear the lesson, that you implement something good in your life, you know? There's deep wisdom, but you can tap into, yes. Billions of years of evolutionary wisdom. You can get from plants. Can you do a blessing for the collective? What do you mean specifically? Like a prayer? Like some words? Is that what you mean? Exactly, Kelly. Yeah, I agree. Even if you don't necessarily always want to go through it, seems to be the case that uncomfortable angles are sometimes our best teacher. It gets us out of our... I think that's what the death card is all about, getting us out of the ego desires and into the bigger picture of things, you know. What is it that we need to see beyond our own projections, kind of thing. Well, in terms of a blessing, how about I finish my snack, and then we'll do one together. I'm about to close, but yes, you can get a reading. If you want to get a reading, anyone that's here that wants to know how, you can donate, preferably over $10. You can become a member, and you also receive other perks by becoming a member, like access to exclusive videos. If you go beyond Team Earth and you go to Team Air or Fire or Water, anything beyond there, you also get access to Akashic videos, how-to booklets, all kinds of great stuff. So there's many reasons why becoming a member would hopefully, it may or may not suit you, but if it doesn't, you can donate to get a reading. And I can make space for you now, or we could do it. Oh, I'm realizing that the connection's a little bit spotty at the moment. Not sure if that's the thunderstorm or what, but hopefully you guys are not having too many connection issues on your side. I'm just noticing some dropped frames. But yeah, I will set up a raffle of some kind where someone in the chat can win a free reading at some point. I started off doing free readings, but as I've mentioned in a couple streams now, when there's not that reciprocal energy where I'm being given, you know, that energy back for my time, because when we go into readings, it requires a lot of psychic energy for me to share the information. It doesn't honor the process at all, so that's why I offer these readings to members and to patrons. That way it feels a little bit more reciprocal, honors the time and the energy that I'm spending, honors the sacred messages that want to come through as well. And we also get to have these chats live 3 times a week for free. So make sure you guys catch me on my lives, because the replays will be for members only as well. But I will be here every Tuesday, Thursday and Sunday potentially, although that's also open to being changed depending on what happens. But I'm usually here around 2 p.m. EST, 3 times a week. So you can always tune into the lives and get the good collective feels and the energies and all of that good stuff. Michelle, thank you so much for the 5. Appreciate that. Let me know if there's a deck that stands out to you. We have tarot, we have runes, we have starseed decks, we have god and goddess decks, I am deck, all kinds of good stuff. Let me know what vibe you're feeling into right now for that, if you have a question. As I was saying before, not forgetting, because I agree, time is money, but not forgetting that the value is also in the spirit bank of energy that we share too. How much quality can we get out of time spent with whatever it is we're doing? And that to me adds up in the morphogenetic fields. It adds up in the Akashic field. It adds up in just your life experience when you go to be on your deathbed or you pass on. I think the soul will always, the memories will live on. The good memories will live on. The money, you know, it's a means to an end, right? But it doesn't necessarily get to be taken with you or creates as much change as what, say, the quality of the experience does. So it's a bit of both. It's a balance. The physical value and the energetic value have to go hand in hand for that to feel like it's a valuable existence, etc. Star seeds. All right. Star seed it is. I'm going to bless them, these cards. And then at the end we'll do a blessing for the collective, calling in the 4 directions, the 7 directions in fact. Sending in that spiral symbol, representative of our universe, going into the cards and coming out. So I'm doing general for you, Michelle, I'm guessing. General reading, is that what you would like? If you have a question you don't necessarily want to ask, that's okay too. You can just have that in mind. Whatever feels best for your energy, whatever feels more open to receive, you know? I think I'm done with this blueberry muffin. Gonna get ready for my pasta salad. Just a moment. Awesome. I'm glad you got some value there, Kelly. Appreciate that very much. To join, you can, if you're on the computer, you can click the join button. If you're on mobile, the link in the description box down below should take you there. Because I know on mobile apparently there isn't a join button, which, you know, yes, you need that to keep the reciprocal flow moving. Yeah, exactly. That's how we keep our life force energy intact, you know, we get that reciprocal energy, and that's something that I've had to learn, and it's taken me a while. I think many of us have when it comes to being givers of of something, you know, we want to give, but if we keep giving and don't necessarily ask for what we need, not the one. Definitely not. Hello, Adam. Welcome in. Yeah, let me know if that link works for you, Kelly, or not. You can also donate through PayPal if you prefer. We do have a link for that. And that way I'll get your email straight away and I'll be able to send you any of the Akashic information. So I have a few booklets, quite a few booklets, so whichever stands out to you. I have dream work, Akashic work, or ancestral work, ancestral healing. But we can talk about that a little bit more through the email. I'll let you know what services you can receive when you're a member. But yeah, let me see if I can find that link, PayPal. The reason I would use PayPal, and I am going to hopefully, if there's a way to set up an alert for it, is because I get more of the proceeds than I do with members, although it is great to have members and to have a community. But the only thing that I would say about the members community is that there's not really a space where we can chat. That's one thing that would be nice to do that. But yeah. You can also join next to subscribe. Yeah, I don't know why it's trying to hide that message. There we go. So it's up to you. However you want to donate for a reading, there's the link. Hopefully that works. And now we're going to do Michelle's reading. General. Awesome. Cool. So this is a general reading for Michelle. What does Michelle just see, hear, and know in this now moment? Alright, let's take a look at the top of the matter. Okay, we have the pyramids for you, Michelle. We have Thoth and I'm not sure who the others are, or the goddesses are, gods are. Maybe some of you guys will be able to recognize, but it says star ancestors. So connecting with that ancestral heritage, that ancestral inheritance, so to speak. What is it that you got from your parents? What is it that, what are the good and bad things in you that you got from your parents? Because sometimes when we have, you know, light or shadow work coming through us, whether we're doing something really good, you know, it's a nice time to kind of be like, oh, actually this is something that I gained from one of my family members. You know, this is something that they taught me. And it's kind of like a way of honoring your ancestors there. The other side of it is that when there's some, you know, shadow work that's coming up to be faced, it's things like just the little voices that may come through your mind sometimes. Even though it sounds like you, it might be coming from a parent and the way that they were speaking to you at one point, and you have to decipher whether that's a healthy voice for you in there anymore. Sometimes it's not. You know, and making that differentiation between what voices are ours and are helping us to grow in our endeavors in the world and in our self-confidence and all of that, making a understanding which voice to listen to, basically, is something that we do when we look at ancestral work. It goes much deeper than that, though. Also, we can look at the other side of it, which I think a couple people in the chat were talking about, which is the lost secrets, the ancient mysteries, these kinds of technologies that are more crystalline based and were able to connect with the Earth's frequency and the Earth energy. And I mean, who really knows what the pyramids were for? I don't necessarily believe that they were just tombs. But yeah, hidden secrets. So there's some hidden secrets somewhere. There's something you're not quite seeing that maybe you might be able to find through studying. You might be able to find through deep self-inquiry. There's a couple ancestral exercises you can do to connect with your ancestors. I tend to do these kinds of things around the fall times of the year because I feel like that's a big gateway for connecting with your ancestors. Is when we're going into Halloween and that period of time, but you can do it at any time. It also says lost wisdom. What is it the collective has lost, right? You know, in terms of the wisdom the heritage that we come from. What is it that we aren't being told about? Welcome to Team Earth Foundations. Welcome, Kelly. So, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, lost wisdom. Here's one thing. You know, like the burning of the library, Alexandra, and things like that. Like, what if there's a way for us to put some of those pieces of information that was lost? What if there's a way for us all to tap into that collectively through the Akash, through the space of just asking your guide or your higher self to give you some piece of information that could really help you in this moment? What is it a well ancestor wants to share with you? And I do emphasize the word well. You know, some habits, some patterns get passed down to us from ancestors that aren't necessarily well, and we have to be the ones to break those chains, break those habitual patterns that don't serve us. Because if we don't do it, then who will? You know, we're at the forefront of our bloodline, so we can, like, if you want specifics, you know, it would be things like, what things did your parents do that you do now that serve you or don't serve you? What kinds of things did you pick up from them that was good and bad? Is a good place to start. And look a little deeper is what it says. So let's look a little bit deeper. I think I have the booklet for this one. Would you like to hear from the booklet what they say about this card, or is there something else you'd like to hear about? Let me know if you have any questions. We can dig in a little deeper. I would love to visit the pyramids one day. But yeah, pretty awesome. Hi, Stig. I want to say hi. Thanks for bringing amazing spiritual healing ASMR video. Thank you, Mick. Thank you very much. Thanks for being here. They bring light into Earth and portals, the Great Pyramids. Well, interestingly, yeah, so the Lion's Gate is coming through, and the significance is obviously quite big with Egypt. Something that they apparently held quite close to them, being a significant date, the 8th of the 8th portal, because it's when our sun, you know, aligns in some way with the Syrian sun, which is supposed to be, you know, bringing us, I guess, more heightened energies on this day, on the Lion's Gate, helping us to open more to who we truly are and receive messages from Spirit. So that's something to take. I think it's like a week or so before and after the Lion's Gate that there's apparently this energetic increase because of this second sun coming the way, coming closer. And you have the 3 stars here that the pyramids align to. So I always found that interesting, learning about how they even built. I don't even know how they built these pyramids, but it's definitely mysterious. So, let's see what Rebecca Campbell has to say. Danielle Noel is the artist. He makes these fabulous cards. She did a really good job with the layering, and yeah, I really like the art style in these. Excuse me. So we have Star Ancestors, Star Keeper, Star Family, Star Brothers, Star Bathing. I haven't done that in a while. Star Bathing. It's been quite cloudy here. We've been having an Egyptian sun. I call it an Egyptian sun. I don't know if anyone knows what I mean by that, but it's when the cloud is covering the sun, but not too much that you can't see it. It turns into this beautiful golden disc in the sky, and it almost looks unreal when you see that. But it's been quite cloudy here, so I haven't been able to see any stars recently. But starbathing is definitely very peaceful. Upgraded. Thank you, Symbio, for upgrading to Team Air. Welcome to Winds of Hope. Let me know if you'd like the Akashic video. I don't know if you've seen that yet. And the Akashic booklet or the Ancestral booklet. Actually, in the Ancestral booklet is where I describe to you how to do those ancestral healings. There's a couple exercises you can do, but even just lighting a candle and following your intuition is one way. Alright, Star Ancestors, what messages do they bring? The ancients knew much more than we do about our connection with the stars. Their pyramids, temples, and other places of worship created in precise alignment with the stars exist in all corners of the world. What if this ancient wisdom is available for you to uncover now? You're being called to think and listen with your ancient heart and soul. Tapping into that heart portal. To tap into the part of you that remembers and knows. All ancient secrets are whispered forever in your ears. All mystic knowings bloom in your heart. All potent power pumps through your veins. You're being invited to step into your ancient knowingness. Ancient knowingness. To be held by the remembrance of the star ancestors. To look a little deeper. If you're feeling stuck, you're being called to do something different, to change your point of view. Creativity happens when we put together two things that don't belong. That's one way to look at it. When we do the unexpected, so often a creative solution is right in front of us. But because we think the same thoughts and act the same way, we miss what's in the open. Hi Paul, welcome. This kind of answers the question I was asking at the beginning of the stream. When I was saying what stops us from creating, from being the co-creators that we are. So often the creative solution is right in front of us, but because our thoughts get in the way, the habitual thought patterns, we tend to act the same way as we have before. And as we know, when we keep acting the same, keep doing the same things, but expecting different results, we are setting ourselves up to be disappointed. So I guess the key is change here. You have to change some of your ways of thinking about things so that you can see things from a point of view that's more benefited to you, that helps you to tap into more of your good feeling thoughts, you know? So if we think the same thoughts and act the same way, we miss what's in the open. What's the here and now? You don't win the moment when you're not in the now. If you're in the past or the future, If you're using it wisely, you know, to heal from the past or to plan for the future, that's okay. If you're in the past or the future worrying, you're not winning the now. I only realized the other day that now spelt backwards is one. You're here to remember and uncover ancient secrets and transmissions. Ooh, sounds pretty cool when they say it like that. You're here to remember and uncover ancient secrets and transmissions. Technology and wisdom that are so needed on the planet right now. To unlock your soul's memories of a time when we lived in harmony on Earth, and one day will again. I can feel you skeptics out there with this one, but I do hope for this. I hope for this. There'll be peace again on Earth. We have increments of it during the days, but it'd be nice if peace was the theme of, I guess, just a more, I don't know, there's just more peace in general. I think we tap into that ourselves. We're the ones that can do that. All right, starseed activation for you, Michelle. Place your hand on the portal of your heart and whisper the following. I'm ready to remember ancient mysteries and secrets from deep within. I'm ready to remember ancient mysteries and secrets from deep within. In divine timing, I will add. All right. So yeah, letting that unfold for you. There's a lot in that one card. So I'm just going to let you calibrate with those energies. Unpack them for the next day or so. Yes. Yeah, it's kind of like having a sunset sun all day long. It's the same kinds of colour spectrum you get when it's the sunset or sunrise. It's like a golden hue. It's nice. I'm not quite sure why there's so much cloud, but could have something to do with the energies, the emotions of the area, I don't know. It's due to the wildflowers in the prairies, really? Well, there we go then. Her mum was Wiccan. So, let me know, Kelly, if you're leaving now, then maybe we can reconvene next stream for your reading. Her mum was Wiccan. She spoke of a lady with your hair. She has sadly passed away in England. Do you do those kind of readings? Which kind of readings do you mean specifically? Wiccan? I don't not too sure what you mean. Yeah. Even just like asking, like next time you speak to a family member, you know, sometimes there's a lot of joy in asking them what experience they had growing up, and I'm sure many of us have had these conversations before, but it's nice finding out about your family history, because when it's gone and it's not been talked about, it's I don't know, time is of the essence. Well, if there's no more readings for now, I am probably gonna invoke the directions, and then we will reconvene on Thursday, potentially. Giving thanks to the direction of the north. May there be peace in the north. Thank you to the angels of earth and joy and service that bring this peace to the north. I'm going to see peace radiating out from the north all the way to the very corners, very edges of the planet. Turning to the east. Thank you to the angels of the east, angel of air and wisdom, for bringing clarity and truth to all of those in the east. I'm not going to turn my back to you all, but for me anyway, the west is pointing towards the window. Finding your west. We thank the angels of the west. Element. What am I saying? That's not the west. I do that sometimes. I think the south is the west. No, it's not the west. That's the south. Naughty elephant squirt water. It's been a long day. Alright. Thank you to the angel of the south, the angel of fire, motivation and movement, prana and will, for bringing peace to the south. And coming to the west. Thank you, angel of water, angel of love, for sharing your blessings of hope and peace with the west. May there be peace in all four corners. May there be peace above and below, and at the center of all consciousness. That's just a short prayer. I would like to do a more in-depth version of that, where I call in the 12 rays. And maybe that's something I could do as a perk for members of the top tier. We could get together in a group meditation, and I will guide us through that. That has been a dream of mine for a while. I just haven't gotten to doing it. Been kind of busy with just healing my own self and going through life in general. You know how it is, life gets in the way. So yeah. Well, he's in the chat, so he could probably answer that himself, Johanna-tan. But he is, hope you won't mind me saying, triple Sagittarius. Some strong fire energy. I was saying to him the other day, you should get to know his Sagittarius side a bit more. Maybe he already knows it. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But astrology, I think it's a good, it's an interesting space to do some research. So, I hope you enjoyed the collective blessing and prayer. Emi ashana maeru ayatera ashana makairu shu yabayata e shanama makayu tu shanamaka. It's a light language blessing coming through, helping us to connect to that heart space within and to connect to all the hearts around us in the space of in-between consciousness. Getting ready for the Lion's Gate. Yes. That would be a great day to do a meditation and connect with the whatever messages want to come through. But anyways, I'm pretty tired. So, I will see you all next Thursday. And if not Thursday, I'll make sure I let you all know in the community tab, keep you updated. I don't know how many of you get those notifications from the community tab, but just look out for it. You can find it on my channel, on the community, I believe. I'll let you know. Thank you very much. And yep, prayer definitely works in terms of being able to make that movement, that shift within you, especially. Sometimes that's the most powerful and potent shift we can make, is the one that we move within us, you know. So yeah, having our attention, our intentions on good feeling thoughts, thinking of the best case scenario, is good to balance it out with, you know, the real life conversations that have to be had as well. Not always seeing doom and gloom or pessimism everywhere, but also not cancelling out any of the negativity that's there, making sure we talk about that as well. You don't cancel out one without the other. You integrate both, you accept both, and I think in that way prayer does work, yes. But everyone has a different way of praying. Sometimes it's through joy. Joy is a prayer. Supposedly the giant humanoids in the movie Prometheus speak Proto-Indo-European. Yeah, it was an interesting movie, that one. Prometheus. Yeah. If you watch often, alright. I see, yeah. Can't really control that, unfortunately. That's the algorithm. But it's been a pleasure, everybody. Thank you for hanging out. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And if you have any questions, you can shoot me an email at misssynchronicity@gmail.com pertaining to the readings or my services, anything at all pertaining to those things, pertaining to the memberships. Please feel free to reach out. I'm always here to chat with you concerning any of those things that may pop up.